Hi, Greg.
You ready? So we've talked a lot about everything, and you mentioned a little bit of the defense, but I was thinking maybe get a little bit more in depth on what you're seeing defensively, individuals or just unit. Give me some thoughts.
Based on today or recently? Yeah, I think there's a lot of new guys. I like our athleticism. I think we got a little bigger in the secondary. We had some pretty good athletes, but I think we got a little longer in the secondary. Got pretty good athletes. We should have more depth if we're lucky and don't get anybody hurt. But it's still a lot of work in progress. I think we're still kind of learning how to play and the level of intensity. Today, I'm not happy with today's day. I didn't think the focus was as good as it needed to be on either side of the ball.
How you feel about the defensive line so far, Rich?
Okay. I mean, I like their work ethic. I think they're working pretty hard. And like I said, I think our athleticism. I think there's more guys. I think that should be in the mix. But it's still kind of. I think we have 9 practices in. This was the 9th one. I didn't think we got a lot better in practice 9 myself, but maybe they. And I didn't tell them I was giving the Easter weekend off, but they are. But maybe that had something to do with it.
How is he handling playing on both sides of the ball so far?
Well, he's not been playing both sides. He's just been playing defense. And I like to maybe give him a few reps at the end of spring ball because I think he can handle it. And he's a sharp guy, so he seems to pick up what we're doing defensively pretty well. But it's a lot, and probably more. We're probably doing more than we need to. I mean, offense and defensively, scheme-wise. I mean, it's my responsibility, but I'm gonna make my guys dial back some more because I'm not worried about tricking someone. I want to, out execute someone, not try to trick them.
So how does Matt look at safety though?
He's comfortable there, and you can see he's comfortable there, and I think he gets more and more comfortable every day. He gets more confident, and he's sharp enough that a few of the things that we might use with him on offense, he could come over and do that. But we haven't. I think I talked to him briefly about it a couple weeks ago, but I hadn't really even thought about it. I was just trying to get the guys we want. But before the end of spring, we'll have a couple days where he'll have a few plays. We'll see what he can do with that.
True freshman and safety. The most difficult part is the physical or the mental that holds them back the most?
It's usually both. The speed of the game happens so much more here for all of our guys. It doesn't matter. Typically, you notice it at quarterback. Everything happens so fast for you. But this level, the speed of the game is a whole lot different, no matter what high school you came from and all that. But he seems to be adjusting to that. But it's and he'll see some different stuff in practice. We mix the tempos up. We'll go a slower tempo so they can see some things, but we also have a faster tempo all the time too, and that makes it even harder for them. So, but I want them to learn. I want to make it difficult for our safeties and our defensive guys to recognize stuff.
Rich, when you say you're doing more than you need to, is that just trying to install too much, or just?
Yeah, I think I would probably, if you asked me, every spring in 29 years as a head coach, about halfway through, like schematically. You think you're doing a whole lot, and I'll probably say we're doing too much. And I would say today we were doing too much. But there's things you got to put in. Part of the problem is, and I say problem, part of the issue is you want to see what your guys can do. And there's certain plays that highlight certain things that they do. And so you got to have that in to see if they can handle it or see if it's going to be a good fit for the fall. Now, we have fall practice August practice to do that too, but I want to have it be somewhat game ready April 18th. So we'll dial back some more because our most important thing coming out of this spring is getting our players better first, and then us evaluating where we're at every position. So when you guys ask these questions, I ain't got to give you the runaround, which I'm doing.
Putting things together.
Huh?
In terms of putting things together, for like a total system, offense versus defense, is one side a little harder than the other? I mean, I understand.
Well, typically it's offense, but we do a lot of stuff defensively too, and everybody does nowadays. I mean, everybody does different stuff, but I purposefully made us dial it back a couple days ago, and I'll have to do it more today. But I'm trying to get a big picture view of what our quarterbacks can do too, and what things they can do well. So it'll be our players will have the next 3 days to relax, enjoy, whether it's here or home. But it's not going to be 3 days off for the coaches. Sunday will be off for sure.
Rich, how much of the spring is just kind of like throwing stuff at the wall and just seeing?
Yeah, that's a good question. You want to typically you'd want to, I don't want to say experiment, but try some things you think you would, and we have some of that going on. But I typically it's usually a waste of time. Usually you're going to do what you do. So, but we're doing some of that, or at least have plans for doing some of that. Now we'll have a couple practice. Well, the last practice won't be anything to do there, and then really the last week is not really helpful in that regard. So, what do we have left? 2 weeks? No. Yeah, 2 weeks. So that's why I was a little upset after today, because I think we didn't get everything out of today's practice that we should have. And so today wasn't the best day for us, and we got to learn from that.
We talked to Latimer here in a little bit. You had him at Jack.
Which one?
The older
Jameer?
one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you had him at Jack State. So you've seen him up close and personal. What's he do well? Why did you think he was a fit here?
Yeah, he was. He didn't recruit him. He was just a really good athlete. Played everywhere, and then he played for us as a freshman at Jack State. Really sharp, instinctive guy. Good athlete. I mean, just a good football player. And so we didn't give him the second time, but we got him the third time. And him and his brother got a great family. They play hard. They take hard coaching. They're very instinctual. So yeah, Jameer will be. He's what we thought he was when we recruited him, and he's a little bit older now and stronger too. So I'm glad he's here.
We're going to talk to Coach Adams in a little bit as well. What kind of makes him a fit for this staff?
Yeah, he got great experience. I mean, he's been there, done that, coached a lot of great players, been in the big battles. Great person. We're very fortunate that he was available, I guess you could say, and able to hire him. I like their staff. I think the guys work well together, and they got to take me yelling at them all the time. So their egos aren't too big. But he's been a great addition, and I think I'm seeing some progress made out of those. We switched a little bit instead of just coaching one guy, the bandits per se. He's kind of got both ends, and then Coach Green has got the inside guys. So it's worked out pretty good. A little bit longer there. I think they're progressing, but it's almost a whole new room. I think Keyshawn was one guy that played a little bit, but most of the guys, Nick Taylor, I think he was probably mostly safety, and he's at corner, and I think he's comfortable there. And all the other guys are new, and there's some size there, and pretty good athleticism. But I yelled at them a lot today, because I like yelling at DBs, because I was one. I got yelled at a lot too. But it's going to be a really competitive. Right now, if you just say who's going to be the top 2 or top 3, it's really competitive. It's pretty wide open right now.
Got a couple of JUCOs at that position that were highly thought of when you recruited them. Is that a big jump for a junior college guy? Yeah, what kind of jump is that?
Yeah, not as big as probably high school, but we wanted some older guys and the junior college guys. And one thing about like Chalms and some of those guys he's got a chance to really help us. One thing you find out with the junior college guys in this era, so to speak, and not that anybody is spoiled, but they're not spoiled. Even coming from the great junior colleges that we're getting them from, because we're getting them from some really good junior colleges. When you're giving them a T-shirt and give them dinner, they're like tickled to death. You know what I mean? They're not spoiled per se, and that's one thing I appreciate. The junior college guys, I know they have a greater appreciation for all this stuff that we have. In fact, I got on my guys again, not got on them, but I told them, I said, do you realize we're almost living in a fantasy world? You know what I mean? It's like we want for nothing. I mean, they have somebody wash their clothes, somebody make them meals. We got great medical help. We got personal trainers. We got the mental health experts is great. We've got a team pastor. We've got, 2 full-time nutritionists. I mean, every coach has got a coach. I mean, it's really a great setup for guys to develop. And that's one thing that I'll make sure our guys remember is like, we got to take the most of us opportunity and all the stuff that we have to get to be a really good football player, because we have that here. And I think one of the reasons maybe we got them, I think most people at our level have all those things, but we certainly do. And we have it all in one building, which is really neat. So we're blessed in that regard.
How different has the corner position changed since when you played back at West Virginia?
Yeah, we played a lot of zone. And then whenever I got in the game, I was like deep as the deepest. I mean, we had what they called ability alignment. Like you had to line up if you were playing zone, whatever your ability is. So like if you were really fast, you could play like at 7, 8 yards. And if you weren't as fast, you lined up deeper. And when I lined up against Dan Marino in 1982 at Pitt, my ass was 22 yards deep in Balin. I wasn't going to get beat deep. I think they got a post route in front of me. I got in. I was a backup then, but I got in. It was on national TV. I remember I'm going to get beat deep on national TV, so I better make sure I line up deep. But I think they ran a square in like 20 yards in front of me. I was lined up deep. They didn't even see me on the film. I wasn't on there. I was 16 millimeter. And Coach Bill McConnell was my coach, was like yelling, like, where you at? Where you at? And I'm like, just let it roll. You'll get there. So I was lined up like 25 yards deep. But the kids nowadays our guys were tough. I think our secondary I played with, they were tough, hard nose to hit you. Now, I still think it can be tough, but they're a lot more athletic and run a lot better. I don't know if they were as tough as we are. We had that hard turf, on the old. Yeah, you didn't have any skin left on your elbows, your knees. And my DB coach, as hard as people say, oh, you're kind of trying to be a hard coach, whatever. I think my position coach, was, and I loved him, and I appreciate what he did for us. He was very, very demanding, and every one of us appreciated it. So.
You were in the stadium today. Is there a reason sometimes you go in there?
Yeah, I try to get it for a little bit of atmosphere. We're trying to get kind of feel like atmosphere in the stadium a little bit, but it didn't work because we were practicing. We weren't practicing really well. So my idea of it's going to be enthusiastic and a great atmosphere and all that. I dampened it as soon as I started yelling at them. I just killed the vibe. It wasn't very good on my part. Any kind of vibe we were going to have, fired up, I probably killed that.
Do you feel a difference when they practice in the stadium
Usually I do. Yeah, I think they, the scoreboard's a little bit bigger, and I wanted to get into some third down situations, and in fact, we did get in third down situations, but we never got the things playing, did we? Did we have things playing, Raquel? Yeah, I was so mad I didn't even hear we got the bells. Like when we have the bells playing on third down, I wanted the bells playing on third down, and I wanted the jaws playing on fourth down. I don't know if we got, I wanted some of that atmosphere, and you could do that really good in a stadium. So I did a bad job because I killed that vibe today yelling at some of the guys. So.
Talk about getting the big picture view of the quarterbacks. Have you learned anything that maybe you might not have known about those guys? In spring.
They are mostly what we think they are. Scotty's making good progress. You can tell he's got some experience. Mike Hawkins has done a really good job. He's kind of a little bit quieter, but he's very competitive and really done a really good job of picking it up quickly. He's spent a lot of time. I'm really pleased the way he's grasped some of it. I think Max Brown's got a little bit better. And the young guys look like freshmen sometimes, but they have some skill too, some talent. So I liked the young guys that we have. And I let some of them go live. Now, Mike and Scotty, I don't think have been alive as much, but we'll have a scrimmage next week. We're going to split the team up for some scrimmages next week, and it'll be like a true like one team against another team, and probably let everybody be live, see what happens.
Michael Hawkins, his brother, what's he looking?
Malik he's a good athlete, and I think he's progressing well. He's got a chance to play on a lot of special teams as well, and I think he's going to be able to help us too.
Thank you,
Okay.
Coach.
Yep.